So now we are going to discuss about resistance. So what is resistance? Resistance is the opposition to the flow of current in a circuit. So the symbol for resistance is this. This is the symbol, and the unit of resistance is ohm. This opposition is due to collisions and friction between free electrons with other free electrons, ions, and atoms. And this collision converts the applied electric energy into heat, and hence heat dissipates from a resistor when current passes through it. So, whenever current passes through a resistor, heat gets dissipated. So, we have two classes. One is called conductors, another one is called insulators. Conductors, they have low resistance characteristics, while insulators have very high resistance characteristics. Next, the resistance of a conductor depends on four things. In other words, resistance is a function of four things, namely, it depends on the material of the conductor, it depends on the length of the conductor, it depends on the cross-sectional area of the conductor, and temperature of the conductor. So consider a conductor. The type of material is given by a property called resistivity or specific resistance. And L is the length of the conductor, A is the cross-sectional area, and T is the temperature in which the conductor exists. So this resistance is directly proportional to length of the conductor and inversely proportional to the area of the conductor. And this proportionality constant is the resistivity or specific resistance. These resistors, they are nothing but energy consuming devices, energy consuming device or energy consuming elements, right? What is the purpose of using resistors in a circuit? So they are used to control voltages and currents in electric circuits. Okay. Suppose if you take a good conductor, with the temperature, the resistance also increases. Suppose if your temperature increases, resistance also increases. So conductors are said to have positive temperature coefficient. Conductors said to have positive temperature coefficient. Next we shall see Ohm's law. We will define what is Ohm's law. This is one of the basic or fundamental law in the electrical engineering. Ohm's law is the very basic or very fundamental law in electrical engineering. Okay. So we can define Ohm's law like this. So consider a resistor R in which we apply the voltage V and I is the current flowing through the resistor R. So Ohm's law states that the current flowing through a resistor is proportional to the voltage applied across the resistor, provided the temperature remains constant. So this is very important. The temperature should be a constant quantity. So we can write mathematically voltage is proportional to current when temperature remains constant. So this proportionality, constant of proportionality is the resistance V equal to IR. So this is the basic form of Ohm's law. So we have three forms of Ohm's law which you can very easily remember in your mind by using this simple diagram. Okay, say I have V circle and I have V I into R, V I into R, V I into R. So form 1, so I just close this. So that means V equal to I into R, the bottom one. So this is first form, V equal to I into R. Suppose here I close this I, so I have V by R. So I equal to V by R. This is your second form. Suppose I close this R, third form is V by I. So we have three forms of Ohm's law: V equal to IR, I equal to V by R, and R equal to V by I. And whenever you define Ohm's law, remember that the temperature must be kept constant. Then only your Ohm's law is valid. Next we shall see what is a short circuit and open circuit. These two are very important concepts in electrical engineering or in electric circuit analysis. What is a short circuit and what is an open circuit? Okay. So short circuit is an element through which the current, maximum current flows, or the resistance approaches to zero. Okay. Suppose I have one circuit, for example, I have one circuit. These two are the outer terminals. I place a wire, a simple wire, whose resistance is almost zero. So this is called a short circuit. So when I short circuit across two terminals of a circuit, the voltage becomes zero. The resistance of this wire is almost zero. Okay. So when in a short circuit, the resistance is zero, the voltage becomes zero, but a very large current, very high current flows through the short circuit. For example, you see the circuit. So this is a somewhat complex circuit. V is the applied voltage and this is the output terminal. We connect one short circuit. So the resistance of the short circuit is zero, where the voltage across short circuit becomes zero, and all the current, all the circuit current, and it is going to be the very high current or maximum amount of current is going to flow through the short circuit. That means there won't be any current flowing through the branches. So we have one branch here, we have another branch here, we have another branch here. The current flowing through these branches is almost zero, and the maximum current will flow through the short circuit. Next we have open circuit. So open circuit, the terminals are kept open. If you measure the resistance across the open terminals or across the open circuit, it is almost infinity. So when the circuit is open, current through that part is zero. So open circuit, the resistance approaches infinity and the current is almost nil or zero. Next we have conductance, which is nothing but reciprocal of resistance. Conductance is denoted by G, by the letter G. So I can define G equal to 1 by R. Since it is a reciprocal of resistance, you can write G equal to I divided by V. The unit for conductance is Siemens and it is denoted by the capital letter S. Next we shall see power. What is power in an electrical circuit? So power is nothing but time rate of expending or absorbing energy in an electric circuit. So I repeat, power is the time rate of expending or absorbing energy. So mathematically, we can define power as P equal to, capital P is the symbol for power, P equal to TW by dt. So rate of change of energy. So power is nothing but rate of change of energy. P equal to dW by dt. P equal to this dW by dt, you can write dW by dQ multiplied by dQ by dt. So this dW by dQ by definition, it is nothing but voltage, and dQ by dt by definition, it is nothing but current. So power equal to voltage multiplied by current, and the unit for power is watts denoted by W, right? We have already seen two forms of Ohm's law, or three forms of Ohm's law. First form, V equal to IR, with V equal to IR. So substitute this in the above expression. So you can write P equal to IR into I. So P equal to I square R. So this is another expression for power. So one of the expression is P equal to V into I watts. Another expression is P equal to I square R. Okay. Now, so also we know another form, I equal to V by R. So substitute this, instead of I, you substitute this V by R. So you can write P equal to V into V by R. So P equal to power equal to V square by R watts. So power also we have three forms. One is P equal to V into I watts. Next one is P equal to I square R watts. And the last form is P equal to V square R watts. Right? Next, we will see power distribution in a series circuit. Consider a series circuit. So here this is your series circuit. Here I have a voltage source, energy source. This is the battery, and we have three resistors connected in series, right? Connected one after another. So R1, R2, R3. All three are connected in series. So this is a series circuit. And the current flowing through the circuit is I, right? I have already told you, whenever current flows through a resistor, a voltage will be dropped across the resistor. And of course, we are talking about the conventional current. So conventional current always starts from the positive terminal of the battery. It flows through the various parts of the circuit. Finally, it will return to the negative terminal of the battery. So here, current I starts from positive terminal. It flows through R1 R2, R3, finally it reaches the negative terminal of the battery. So when it flows through R1, it produces a voltage drop V1, it produces a voltage drop V2, it produces a voltage drop V3 across R3. So the current entry point is positive, exit point is negative. Here current entry point is positive, exit point is negative. Here current entry point is positive, exit point is negative, right? So you should know how to mark the correct polarity for the voltage drops, right? Here PE is the power supplied by the DC supply, and this power gets dissipated in the form of heat in the resistors. So the power dissipated in the resistor R1 we denote by PR1, power dissipated in resistor R2 we denote by PR2, and the power dissipated in resistor R3 it is denoted by PR3. Now we can write mathematically what is the total power, right? PE is the power delivered by the DC supply. So PE is the sum of the power dissipated in the resistors. So mathematically you can write P equal to PR1 plus PR2 plus PR3. So PE is the power delivered by DC supply. So PE you can write V into I, where V is the DC supply voltage, I is the current from the DC supply. P is the power delivered by DC supply. The power dissipated in the resistors or power consumed by the resistors, we can write PR1. You can write it in three forms of the Ohm's law. PR1 equal to V1 into I, that is voltage across the resistor multiplied by the current through the resistor, and then I square into R1, right? V1 square divided by R1. Similarly in R2, PR2 equal to V2 into I square R2, again PR2 equal to V2 square by R2. Likewise PR3 equal to V3 into I square R3 plus, not plus, it is also equal to V3 square by R3.